Hi everyone. Well, welcome to my very first video. It's not going to be the best one. I'm not trying to be a YouTube star or a Facebook star, but I would like this video to go viral simply because of the fact that it can help you and your senior citizen dog or any other dog that has problems with pain. So this is my whole motley crew here. I've got Ranger Dog. He's my black lab. The little guy there, that's Teddy Bear. He's my snuggle muffin. And Zeke is my boy, too. He's a neat dog. I mean, I'm not discounting who he is, but he's got this amazing personality. Um, really sweet guy. So Ranger, my black lab, is a retired service dog. His service began at 6 months, and he remained a service dog until he was 12 and had requested retirement. His request simply was not wanting to do anything, and I get it. He's been a good dog, and he's been a good partner. But he has spent several years working on cement floors, and his hips have finally given him grief. And, well, that's why I'm making this video. So, yeah, Ranger's quite the character, and sometimes I call him my partner in crime. And but he's gotten old, and he's tired. And oh, there's his little brothers, the little teddy bear and cheeky monkey Zeke. So Ranger started having problems with his hips, and he also started having problems with incontinence, which I didn't quite understand what was going on. I took him to the vet. Vet gave him a pretty good exam and decided that he needed to be on Mobic, which is an anti-inflammatory tramadol, and he does have ear problems, so also the Benadryl. Bottom line, my poor dog was taking up upwards to 7 to 9 pills a day, caving, always caving in his room. Barely ever saw Ranger come out, and he was hurting pretty bad. And when he was hurting, of course, he was medicated. And when he was medicated, he was stoned. He was pretty tired all the time. And I knew there had to have been something better, and I found it, and now I want to share it with you. It's easy, it's simple, it's a half an hour, and I'm telling you, it works. I was quite surprised. I began making what's called golden milk for my husband and I for our own little aches and pains because we are getting older. And I gave Rangy a little slurp of the golden milk, and he liked it. I'm like, hey, what can I do with this? So I put this little recipe together, and it's very simple. I would say it takes about a half hour of your time, maybe even 20 minutes, depending how quick you are in the kitchen. What you will need is a small saucepan, a whisk, spatula, 3/4 of a cup of water, 1/4 cup of turmeric, 1/4 cup of peanut butter, and 1/2 cup of virgin cold pressed coconut oil. Yes, you really need to make sure it's virgin. A lot of the nutrients are taken out when it's not virgin. It's just not worth the money and the headache of not getting the virgin when you're not getting the nutrients. You will also need a small casserole pan and some saran wrap. So let's get started. First thing we want to do is take our pan. Oh, one quick note, turmeric stains everything. So if you have butcher block countertops like I do, you might want to protect your countertops. Do not use a ceramic type pan. It will stain the dickens out of it. As you can see, I'm actually using one of my old stainless steel pans. It does sometimes leave a little stain in it. So you want to add the 1/4 cup of turmeric and mix it with 1/2 to 3/4 cup of water. It's going to vary on what you want, the consistency. I go for a thicker consistency because I am making this into a roll, and I will be cutting into pieces. It's got the consistency when done of cookie dough. So go ahead and mix it up. You want to put that under low heat just until the turmeric and the water combine, making a paste. We'll be adding 1 teaspoon of pepper. Yes, black pepper is very important. It actually helps the absorption of the turmeric, and it allows it to work on the dog's pain better. We're going to give that a little mix up. I do have the heat off at this point, just getting the right consistency so that the pepper is mixed in. Now we want to add in the 1/2 cup of coconut oil. As you can see, my measurement is not exact. Reason being, a little extra won't hurt anything. No harm in it at all. You want to mix that down. You'll find that it'll become lumpy. It'll kind of look like mash, like a dog food coming out of Alpo. Doesn't look pretty, but that's okay. Now adding in 1/4 cup of peanut butter. Peanut butter, I only add this for taste. There is no value behind it. Please be careful. Read your ingredients. I believe it's xanthium gum that is poisonous to dogs. Read your peanut butter ingredients. It should be basic. Really, the only thing peanut butter should have in it is peanuts, sugar, or honey. Sometimes, of course, they're using corn syrup in everything, and that's fine. It won't harm your dog. So you want to mix it in. The consistency that you're going to have as you are mixing this in is going to be that of baby poop. Sounds horrible, I know. If there's any breastfed mamas, you're going to look at that and go, oh, that looks familiar. And it'll be a very, very loose mess. Now, grab your little casserole dish, and this is where the saran wrap comes in. You want to line your casserole dish with the saran wrap. Just get it tucked in. Make sure you're all the way up on the sides. And pour your mixture into this. Scrape your pan down. Get it all out. Again, being careful of your countertops, your clothes, your hair, everything. And you're going to set this in the refrigerator probably for about 20 minutes, maybe a half an hour. Okay, so I have let this mixture set in the refrigerator. It was probably more along the lines of a half an hour to 45 minutes for me, but only because, you know, my husband was hungry and I don't like starving him and I needed to make him lunch. So we're pulling it out of the casserole dish. As you can see, it's firm. It is pliable. There's two ways to do this. Normally I roll it into a log, but I chose not to do that this time. Instead, I am going with merely cutting it into chunks. I'm doing kind of like a half by a half. I'm trying to target 1 teaspoon. And it really seems to be what's been working for him. He is a 90-pound dog, and 1 teaspoon seems to work really, really well. So I've cut these all up into 1 teaspoon. As you can see, we have them in the bowl here, nice and neat. And these do need to be stored in the refrigerator. That is one very important thing that you need to do, is store them in the refrigerator. If they're already prepared like this, you're going to be ready right away to go ahead and just give them to your dog. Super easy. I probably made enough for about a month. That's what I was aiming for. You're not going to see them go bad because everything that you are using in this is already shelf stable. Your peanut butter is shelf stable. Your coconut oil is shelf stable, as well as the turmeric and the pepper. So you're not going to see much problems with them sitting in there for a month. If you're uncomfortable, you could always take out 7 for the week, put the rest in the freezer. But I left mine out for a week and a half the last time, and I had no problems at all. And so this last of last here is the dog food that I made for Ranger, and I really thought it was going to be super expensive to make dog food. I found it to be super cheap. For me, it was extraordinarily cheap because one, I raise my own meat chickens, and once it's time for culling, after we bone the chicken, or if we roast it, I always save the bones, and the bones, of course, has meat on them. I then boil them down to get the bone broth, and that, of course, releases the rest of the meat off the chickens that we can't just pick off. Strain them out, strain the bones, and I got the meat. I usually put that in the freezer, and I used to make dog treats out of it, and then one day I just came up with a brilliant idea and said, okay, I got to make him some dog food. I took all that extra chicken, which was about 3 pounds, looked in the freezer, and also found some old roast that was already cooked. I save my leftover roast to make my husband Brunswick stew every so often and can it for him. So I heisted some of his roast for his Brunswick stew. He won't care that much. And I threw it in a huge bowl. Uh, I also took all the scraps that I have from canning when I'm doing carrots, tomatoes, etc. I generally take and put those all in a bag and toss them in the freezer, and I feed those to my chickens during the winter with the peelings. And I grabbed those up, threw those in there. I did throw in a fresh sweet potato in there, some cooked oatmeal for grains, and I believe the other thing that I put in there was kidney beans, just one can of kidney beans, just for some extra protein. And then, of course, I put in a third of a cup of turmeric in there, mixed it up, and just tossed it in the canning jars. I did pints, and I pressure canned those. So if you're a canner, you'll know what to do. 75 minutes for meat. I'm in a 10-pound pressure area, so I did 75 minutes with 10 pounds of pressure. I believe altogether it came out to be 18 pints, and he's doing pretty much a pint a day. I'm still mixing with kibble. He's just having a harder time with kibble, so he's getting more of the soft food. And I'll probably be making more in a couple weeks, and I may just go ahead and do a tutorial for that as well, because I really think with the treats that we made here, as well as the dog food, I really think that Ranger is benefiting from it. And you can't go wrong with feeding them wholesome food. I did throw in some hot dogs that for some reason were in my freezer. They were cooked already. But so every now and then he gets a little bonus, and there's a chunk of hot dog in there, so he's pretty tickled about it. So, well, I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. I hope you give it a try. It doesn't take much time out of your life, and it's so much safer than the pharmaceuticals that they're putting into ourselves, as well as our dogs. And more than likely, your dog will love it. The peanut butter is delicious. I actually dropped a small piece as I was cutting, and my cat gobbled it up, which really surprised me, but my cat ate some of it too. So he's just a kitten, and he seemed to really like it as well. And I hope that you find success in trying to prolong the time that you get with your senior citizen's dog, and make them a little bit happier and more comfortable as you prepare to live his last or her last. Because I do really believe that dogs and cats, all animals, I really believe they are a gift from God, and we should do the best for them and love them as they love us, which is almost impossible because, as you know, they love us unconditionally. But so I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Go ahead and share it. I do have this put as public. If you have any questions, feel free to contact me either through Facebook or through my email. And if you have any questions, I'll be happy to help you out with it. I may be posting this to YouTube. If I do, go ahead and leave comments. I'll leave that open, and I can I answer you as I see your comments go. I wish you all well. God bless, and enjoy your time with your pets.